Welcome back. We're getting up for setup for game 2 here between FlyQuest Academy and CLG Academy. Chilling Walk. That last one, a little bit of a barn burner in comparison to our first series here, but still super exciting to watch both of these teams going head to head. And we got some killer team fights coming out in the first game of this series.
I would like to say that I think both these teams play with a lot of patience. They play with a lot of, they wait a lot for optimal plays. They wait for 80-20s, they wait for 90-10s. And that's a really good thing. The question is though, how can you speed that up? And that's what I want to wait. That's what I want to see actually, is where, FlyQuest, you're doing all these drills, you're doing really good setups. But can you speed that up more? Can you be confident and understand all of that? But let's take a look at the replay right now, where we see that early game that was started off by both sides in that 3-on-3, and then Kumo coming in, making sure number advantage is on their side. Along with that, CLG going for that dive in. It was basically a back and forth majority of the time, but then this triple kill from Triple kind of set everything up for himself. Because if it was just a Tomo show, then Triple wouldn't be pumping out that much damage in the later stages. But this sets himself up so that CLG have to worry about two main targets, and that's where FlyQuest did a really good job at that, making sure that two people spacing themselves out, not making sure they get hit by the onslaught of shadows. But this is where everything kind of went haywire, where CLG won a team fight and then they lost the team fight after that because Tomo just didn't get tackled down.
And they were able to deny this Dragon Soul. Either they watch Keel here in RJS, they want to go in, they want to try and deny this Ocean Soul, but Keel just gets blown up. Tomo already standing there, just absolutely shreds through that Hecarim front line, and they're not able to deny that. Baron picked up immediately afterwards, and we get into this fight here. Tien is able to pick up Tomo, but this is where we come back to Triple. Triple is just putting in so much work. Look at him, just blows up Tien right there, and he's staying entirely healthy throughout that fight.
We just see good glimpses from both these sides, we are seeing all these good ideas come through. It's just execution sometimes just doesn't occur. Sometimes there's not being mindful of just one thing that could turn the rest of the fight, and then it just kind of costs them. This is where having all those options is so crucial, and understanding what kind of options you got compared to your opponent is very vital when you're coming up with these big kind of plays. Because when flashes are all on the table, when ultimates are on the table, you got to keep track of that. And unfortunately, that both these teams don't really want to punish early flashes or early ultimates being used and try and take those advantages coming through, because later stages, you do have to track those. But then I don't know if we're seeing that come in through the late game. But regardless, FlyQuest did end up on top. They did lean on Triple and lean on Tomo and play those late game team fights to a T, by the way. CLG, though, got to answer back. Life on the line, man. What you going to pull out? RJS, I know you pull out some wacky things, man. You pull out Kiana, you pull out Nocturne, you pull out Kassadin. What you trying to pull out this time, man? You gonna have fun with us, or are you gonna play meta? That's the question we gotta wonder.
Nocturne was banned out in the last game of the series, so maybe there's something FlyQuest know about that Nocturne that we don't know. They just really don't want to give over that wacky pick there. I think Kiana honestly goes super underrated. I know that DeMonte made his name on the Kiana, and we just saw in that last series versus 100 Thieves, he wasn't able to pull that one out, but if RGS pulls it out here, I'd be super excited. As an AD carry player, I hate that champion. As somebody who loves watching League of Legends, I love that champion, and it is just so exciting to watch. Same with Kassadin, but what is CLG going to be able to pull out here?
I feel like all y'all 80 characters have something to complain about, man. Y'all's like, oh man, I don't like Hecarim, I don't like Kiana, I don't like SS, but that's what happens. That's the rock paper scissors format. It's like, you got a lot of damage, but you're squishy. So of course you're gonna die to an assassin that shows up. Obviously, that's just the way it goes. You need something to counter you, man. Can't be having everything for yourselves. Come on now.
My big complaint is, why does a full tank Hecarim still one-shot me?
That's true, though. That's true.
My biggest complaint.
That's something that
And why your top lane is going to sustain through every single fight, no matter how many times you shoot them. I don't get it, but that's just because I think
Riot got this. Don't worry. Trust in Riot. Trust in Rito. They got this, right? See, don't worry. They got this, man. 80 carries are still looking really good, though. Since they're on the 80 carries subject, the Kraken Slayer is still good. Still Melzo. Gale Force is really good. All the mythic items are honestly really good. So pretty happy about that. But speaking of 80 carries, I want to go into this team right now for CLG and Katsuri, because even though he did end up with a pretty solid kill line with, I think, 4, 1, and 2, he just wasn't able to pump off that damage because, again, some of that decision making that just wasn't there. He ultied in that team fight to try and see if he can assassinate, but Tomo was 100% okay. Want to see if CLG can kind of close up those weaknesses and make sure this is a tight game. make sure that they're actually punishing FlyQuest real tough and real hard. Because right now FlyQuest is throwing 2 punches, CLG's throwing 1. FlyQuest's still winning.
They're still getting more than 1 hit in there because they had that double carry in Tomo and triple. Something I personally want to see out of CLG after that last game is they had the more aggressive engage options there. They had the flanks with Tien. They also had Keel on the Hecarim, and we didn't see a whole lot of aggressive onslaughts of Shadow being used in the early game out of Keel. And yes, both of these teams want to play for late. Yes, they both want to play these scaling compositions, but when you have the team composition that needs to be looking for the dives, then you need to be looking for the dives. You need to be looking for the opportunities to go in and allow for Katsuri to get into the back line. Had we seen Keel go into the bottom lane a little bit more, had we seen him play more aggressively on the Tomo, who is playing this immobile Jinx that they first picked fairly early on into their draft, you punish that. You punish that they showed this immobility so early on.
That's a tough thing. We take a look at the first set that we had. EG Academy, they're a team that wants to punish everything that they can. They see a weakness, they like, let's see if we can tackle that. Sometimes though, there's always a give and take, and that's where League of Legends becomes fun. If you burn a lot of resources to get that early gold, can you maintain it? Can you hold on to that power? And that's where EG Academy, they can. But for CLG, they haven't really explored that yet. They haven't really gone to see if they can punish those flashes, push themselves in, try and limit test with some turret dives. Instead, they want to make sure they get to that late game, because no matter what, at the end of the day, early game can be very inconsistent with League of Legends, but late game can be consistent with League of Legends. You can get to that. If you can get to that 40-minute mark, a lot of things can just play the same. The only thing that's different is how many items you got. And that's where I think CLG is rather just want to rely on, getting to that point and making sure they can just set themselves up for that kind of success.
It's all about the late game for both of these teams here. CLG is the loser. I think they're going to be moving over to the blue side for this game here. So with a mix up in their draft as well, choosing the blue side team, I think we've been seeing a lot of blue side victories so far, and having priority pick on the first champion of the game is super important for a lot of teams here in this tournament. We saw FlyQuest Academy prioritize the Jinx. I want to know what CLG is going to prioritize coming into the second game here. The meta junglers weren't heavily contested. Tristana got through to the second ban phase and wasn't picked up by CLG, even though they saw the Jinx early on. What is CLG going to have in mind here? What do you think, at least what do you think, Shill and Walk, what do you think they're going to be able to pull out here, and especially for that first pick? What do you think they're going to prioritize?
I think it all depends on how you want to open yourself up, right? If you're a team that wants to play late game, then you want to ban things. You want to ban things that could either facilitate the early game, if FlyQuest does it, which FlyQuest don't really like to play hard early game. Outside of NXI, Rock, and the Nidalee. I think if FlyQuest do have their chance on Nidalee, then you got to be worried about FlyQuest snowballing early on. But if you know that the opposing team wants to scale late game too, you just have to outgun them. You have to make sure that you are out DPSing them, and that's where we get to late game situations. That game one where we look at Ryze. Ryze does do damage, not gonna lie. He does a lot, but the thing is that you have to get that balance off, or you have to access that backline for that 900 Hadoken into the face, Whereas you look at FlyQuest and where they had Victor and they had Jinx, they're relatively the same range. And once you enter that threat, they both just focus fire you, and then boom goes the dynamite. So if I am CLG, outgun them, whether through damage or whether through range, or through consistent range, by the way, or two, make sure that you're removing some of those assets that they have, so that you're forcing them to play that early game, or you're forcing them to walk into you while you're focusing kind of back. It's a lot of things that happens in draft, Icarus. It all just depends on that first pick, and then the second pick, and then what happens after that. Sometimes teams can shake it, like what we saw 100 Thieves and EG Academy, but if you're both playing the same style, these late game champions become very valuable, and long range also becomes very valuable because poke deters any sort of action to occur.
I'm super excited to see what Champion Select has in store for us. I think Champion Select is one of the most interesting portions of the game. I love breaking down these team compositions, and I do want to see whether or not they're going to be able to adjust their draft here in game 2 as we get set up and ready to go on screen. Thresh coming off the bat here, not going to be going over to the hands of Dream here for FlyQuest Academy. Working on getting all those borders set up for you guys, so just give us 1 second here. But Seraphine, it looks like fairly standard repeats of the bans from before.
Pretty much standard. Remember that CLG are the ones who can play Seraphine in mid and in bottom, so definitely got to be wary of that. Tom Kench is something that they're banning away from Dream specifically. Even though Tomo and Dreams can play something with Tom Kench, they haven't really played it, which is something that is surprising though. Maybe they're just afraid of maybe they're just afraid of, late game Senna from Tomo just destroying everyone, so I respect that a lot. Now FlyQuest is banning Jinx. This is what FlyQuest is now doing. They're limiting some of these late game options and what CLG can go for in the draft and figure out which ones that they do have, which options that they can go for, and while also making sure Katsuri isn't picking essentially a long range person wielding a rocket, shooting 3 rockets in front of everyone.
I'm curious to see why FlyQuest would ban out their own Jinx here, as the Nidalee being taken off the board once more, double defensive supports, and then an early game jungler taken away from FlyQuest. CLG does want to guarantee that they are playing the same style of game as FlyQuest Academy here. Blind pick top lane, with that Gnar also being taken away here, and another Hecarim priority coming in from CLG. We'll see if they lock that one in, but I want to know what Tomo's going to play here. They banned away their own Jinx.
I have a hunch.
I'm going to guess Aphelios. I'm going to be honest with you.
I have a hunch it's Aphelios, man. Like, you remove Jinx, then you have to think about what other hyper carriers are going to be there. Kai'Sa speaks of one, but then, of course, Katsuri can pick up Tristana, of course, but then Tomo is, like, so confident on the Aphelios, and it works well when you're looking to kite back. There's a reason why we see a Thresh ban, right? Because Thresh Aphelios gives Aphelios that kind of mobility where he can just move around with those, with that Lantern, so that's why we see being banned away. The question is, does Tomo want to take that? But right now, we're just going to see the same jungle picks being picked up for both sides. Is this going to be... We're not going to see an Enchanted Support, are we? Dreams hasn't played an Enchanted Support. No, don't be fooling with us. Don't be fooling with us. You're not going to play an Enchanted Support Dreams. You're usually playing, Rakan, not Alistar, Rakan, Rail, someone like that. Tristana's a good pick, though, because now we're going to see if Triple wants to pilot it, or Tomo, too.
I do love the Tristana pick coming in here from FlyQuest Academy. I think this champion is still extremely powerful. Did lose 2 base AD, which is a pretty hefty nerf. A lot of people underestimate how much damage that can be doing, especially in the early game. Messes up your CSing and messes up all of your abilities throughout the early stages of the game. But it still is a late game scaling composition. With Kai'Sa being locked in as a retaliation pick, I still don't think this is another winning matchup for the Kai'Sa. Nautilus pairs well, extremely well with Kai'Sa, though. And that is going to be a follow-up response that is going to be able to deal with some of the slipperiness of this Tristana.
I don't know if I like this answer, man. Like, you're picking 3 divers into Tristana, who can rocket jump away, and into Udyr, who can just bear stop everyone when they come in. So now you're picking up an Alistar, which is another beefy bodyguard for the back line. And remember that Triple can play it mid. Tomo can play it on the bottom lane. FlyQuest is still setting themselves up to potentially just outgun CLG. And knowing that they're setting up their linebackers against the other, and the blitzer from Katsuri can't really go in. I'm actually worried of CLG's draft when they want to try and go in, because we saw that happen in game 1 where the target selection wasn't as ideal as it should have been. But who knows, if they manage to get that flank off, if they manage to get all the way to that back line and bypass Udyr and Alistar as the linebackers, then I can see it working. But right now, FlyQuest is setting themselves up to be a team that can just outgun and outrange CLG.
Scaling mid bands coming out from both CLG and FlyQuest Academy here. You need to be taking those off the board here, because...
And these are smart, too.
Yeah, FlyQuest Academy is already looking to do the outgunning, as we talked about previously, as you just mentioned. They have the extra reins on the Tristana, so CLG needs to make sure that FlyQuest Academy doesn't get their hands on another really scaling pick in the mid lane. I'd be not surprised to see a Victor ban coming out here. They would mean that the Rise is still available for FlyQuest to take away. I have to wonder, does Triple play the Rise as well? Victor is going to be banned, so what does FlyQuest Academy choose to play for their mid lane here? I'd expect another scaling mid, but the question is, who are they going to be playing as their scaling mid?
I actually don't think you need to pick a mid lane right now. You can actually just pick your top laner right now. Oh, instead, they're going to pick mid lane. All right, never mind.
Okay.
I was going to say you can hide the Tristana flex. You can hide the Tristana flex, but then never mind. Oh, sorry. Yeah, never mind. I'm trolling, guys, by the way. All right, but regardless, now we're going to see CLG committing to their composition to fully dive in. Remember that CLG is being very clear-cut and dry on what they want to do. Silas adds a lot when it comes to dive, man. You take that Unbreakable. You basically become Alistar 2.0 that has damage, and you can jump in with the party. Right now, though, CLG doesn't have that range. They don't got anything to shoot them from a long distance, and this is coming from their top laner. Jace does do that, but he doesn't scale as well. So that's something that we have to be mindful of if it does go to late game, which it probably will, because both these teams like to play it slow.
It's going to be curious how they're able to pilot this. Chase does get locked in. I'm personally super excited for the Silas, though. I think the champion goes extremely underrated. Recently received a buff that is Kingslayer lost 2 seconds of cooldown at all ranks. In the late stages, it goes down to a 6-second cooldown. And we're seeing a lot of Everfrost, Cosmic Drive, Lucidity boot rushes for Silas players as well. So that CDR build, heavy on the AP, heavy on the movement speed, heavy on the ability haste, means that he gets so much sustainability in fights, and it's so entertaining. He also gets 120% attack speed on his passive, by the way, which means he slaps you like no other. Just mad speed with his chains over here. Bah, 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 bah. Like, it puts Udyr's Tiger Stance to shame. Let me say that. So much sustain coming out from RJS here. Is it going to be able to pilot into an Orianna, though? Are they going to be able to deal with the front line that FlyQuest is bringing with that Scion lock-in coming in?
So in the early stages of this laning phase between Silas and Orianna, Silas, of course, is a melee. You're playing against a ranged. Orianna is in this matchup should get the early laning advantage via wave and through CS and through bullying because, you know, command attack and dissonance hurts a lot on RGS. Eventually, though, after the first reset, RGS does have a chance to fight back. You know, if he's able to once he's able to put some points into the queue, once he's able to just get some items and be able to just clear the wave, then he'll be okay. But looking at these two compositions, man, CLG, I think it's still the same thing where they have to go in for that dive. If they ever do team fight, they have to poke out the backline, which is very tough because there's 3 beefy people sitting in front of them. And 2, they have to try and find the back line. If it's a lot like game 1, then CLG hasn't doing that too well. But they're doing it again, which means that they have confidence that they can execute, which is something that's good to see. Whereas FlyQuest Academy, they're sticking to their guns, man. They're like, hey, you know what? Front line, back line. Front line, back line. You got Sion, Udyr, Alistar. You got Tristana, Orianna. All right, come at us.
This is the line in the sand. You do not cross this line. You gotta go through Udyr. You gotta go through Sion. You gotta go through Alistar before you can ever touch Triple and Tomo here.
Yeah.
You know, drawing the line for their opponents here in this game, just like game 1, it's going to be all about the line of skirmish. Where do these two teams decide they're going to fight at? With that, we're hopping into game 2, ladies and gentlemen. CLG hopping onto the blue side here. FlyQuest Academy, they're going to be taking up the red side. Standard 5-point starts this time around, so nothing too cheesy coming in from CLG. We did see them get that flash early on in game 1. Didn't really capitalize upon it, but here in game 2, it's just going to be fairly even, fairly standard.
You know what's kind of cool? That FlyQuest kind of is playing football, man. Triple has the ball. Literally, Triple has the ball, and you have 3.
Who does he pass it to, though? Who's the catcher?
Who's he hunting to? I don't know.
Do you think Kumo's just the man that runs behind everybody and tries to catch the ball? Use that ultimate? Ooh,
maybe Triple throws a ball with command protect on a Kumo, and then that sets up the shockwave. You know, he's like, yo, Kumo's open. Let me throw it over to you. That's how it goes. But CLG, they do have a winning top side for themselves. Bot side's pretty explosive. You know, if they do opt in for a 2-on-2, it's like a game of chicken. Whatever support goes in first, the AD carry has to be able to flash the retaliating other crowd control from the opposing support. Kumo, I don't know if you want to fight this, man. Jace got 2 abilities on you. Taking a lot of damage.
Ooh, Tien putting in work, and he's putting in the schmoves over here. He's dropping down Kumo extremely low, already down to 100 health. Has to use the potion very early on. Corrupting potion still available for Tien as well. He uses up his final stack of that, but he's going to have the minion wave advantage as well. So once he hits level 2, might be looking to just finish off the job here. Triple harassing out RJS just as we expected in the early stages of this mid lane, and both junglers once again starting on opposite sides of the map. They're going to be doing full clears once more here, and it's fairly standard. So it's kind of what we expected from both of these teams in the early stages.
I actually would have liked Triple to stack up the 3rd minion wave and then potentially set up a cheater, and just to reset and just come back, walk back in the mid lane. But instead, he's actually looking to bounce the 2nd wave and have it come back. Again, though, we don't really see a lot of early ganks from both these teams, so NXI not really looking to punish on the bottom end. Bot side, of course, is going to be looking to trade, as I don't really want to go through. NXI has actually come from an early gank. This is something uncharacteristic.
Caster Curse is a thing. Ooh,
That's
flash
true.
forward from NXI. He's going to be able to get the stun. Tien uses the dash. He's not going to be able to flash here because he's guaranteed to die no matter what. Great engage coming in from NXI and FlyQuest Academy. They find first blood, and it goes over to the Udyr jungle.
Yeah, finally we see an early game punish. Ooh, RJS, you threading the needle, man. Damn, I don't know what you're trying to sow, but you definitely got in. But good stuff on FlyQuest. This is what you usually want to do when you're answering a Jace on the top side. You got to treat him like a ranged champion, like Lucian, like like Tristana likes a solo lane AD carry, where you got to tackle him early on, and then he'll eventually just lose a lot of power. The only difference is that Tien and Jace does spike well in that first item, which that's where he has a window to come back. But take a look at this. Tien wasn't expecting NXI to flash right into the bush and bear stop him, so it's really good on NXI to catch Tien out. And knowing that, you know, both blowing the flash, he's just going to save flash for himself. So good awareness on that end, but still, you know, wasn't really managing the wave as much. You want to get that to crash in, but solid punish.
And I love the positioning from NXI after he flashes well. He gets the Bear Stun and immediately runs in front of Tien to make sure that even if this Jace does flash away, he's going to be there. He's already propped up with that Phoenix stance to take the fight. Tien, though, not deterred from that gank, is still going to be going very aggressive on Akumo here. Is he going to be able to win this fight? He's taken up an entire mid lane. Akumo, the flash away from Tien, flashy, but is it going to be enough? He gets the ward down, one more auto attack. He's got to finish it off. He will find a kill for himself, solo kill on the top side. So Tien not quite out of this one yet.
Definitely not, man. That's a good time to actually answer back, knowing that Kumo had to crash the wave in. Remember, Kumo couldn't reset. The wave was coming into him, and he had a juicy burger that he was waiting to pick up, and then he had to, you know, throw it back over to Tien. That's where Tien got a good punish on the top side. So good stuff on him. So back and forth. See, this is where Kumo's trying to crash the wave. He wants to crash the wave. Tien's trying to freeze him, man. This is good stuff from Tien, and then just go in because Kumo's trying to blow spells to make the wave go through. So this is just good top lane play on the wave. Cheeky flash, though.
The flash, too.
Yeah.
Didn't use it before.
I will say, though, this does open up an opportunity for Kumo to tackle Tien because that flash is down. And when Kumo is 6, he can call up NXI to break him down. So that is an option for FlyQuest if they want to go for a 1-6 a 6 is picked up. So we'll see if FlyQuest wants to make that a play and make sure Tien doesn't get to have fun.
I do like to see this early game aggression coming in from CLG, though. Tien playing so aggressively on the top side. He may have died early, but he's able to find himself a solo kill, and that's what you need to see if you're piloting this Jace. We have Keel now sitting around the top side as well. NXI did just back, so if they want to look for a dive here, that's going to be the Ghost. That's going to be the Engage. He gets the ram back. Double knockback, Kumo. You can't do that, man. Double knockbacks here. Kumo's going to go down, and he's going to lose out on this entire wave if he doesn't try to pick it up here. Tien kills him, denies the whole wave. Teleport will be available, but that's a lot denied.
But pay attention to the bottom side, though, right now, because look at FlyQuest and what they're doing. Because Keel has showed his attention on the top side, FlyQuest, they're going to pick up the first Ocean Drake for themselves. So FlyQuest understanding what's going on with the map, knowing that they do have a strong bottom side that does have priority and that does have that CS advantage for themselves, they get that Drake for them. Again, though, this is where we got to ask ourselves, because FlyQuest has that priority and because they picked up that Dragon, are they going to be looking to just maintain this priority in the bottom lane and then flip back up to the top side, that like what we saw in Game 1 to get that Ocean Drake? You know, this is where you go into those mind games of, if I'm CLG, I got to get the read. Do you think is this bot lane going to move to the top side when Rift Herald spawns at 10 minutes? Or are we going to just let that happen?
Keel gets picked out, or gets seen out, I should say, inside of FlyQuest jungle. NXI walks up and is like, no, these are my wolves. You can leave now. Thank you for the leash. So he's just going to go back to his bottom side. Hecarim will pick up his Krugs, go to Red and Raptors. Maybe looking for a gank now that he's level 6 as well. Does have that onslaught of shadows available. Curious to see where he's going to opt to use that ultimate for the first time in this game, because we mentioned about last game, Keel wasn't looking for too many hyper-aggressive ultimates in the early stages of the game, held onto them for big situations, and with Rift Herald spawning in 30 seconds, you know, we see the possible rotation coming in from FlyQuest, possible rotation not from CLG as they just reset their bottom lane, and now Katsuri already showing on the bottom side. Meanwhile, Tristana is rotating up to that river, might be looking to reset and go top lane.
This might be the time where they want to go for this Rift Herald, knowing that's coming up in 15 seconds. Just have to pay attention where Tomo goes. Yeah, he is. Yep, he's booking towards top side. Oh, where you going, Tomo? Oh, he's going back bottom lane. All right.
Oh,
they're going with the next up. All right. They're not doing what they did in Game 1.
Keeping it spicy.
This is where level 6 can happen, man. Kumo can just slam right in. No
splash.
Oh,
no. Tien, you thought you could go to the river in order to escape, but NXI is waiting with open arms. Shutdown. Goes over to the Udyr. Keel is here as well. Does not have the Ghost available just quite yet. He gets a good chunk on an NXI, but that is another kill for this Udyr.
All right. Call me prophet, Icarus. I said that they want to punish TN at level 6, and they do so. So, good job on FlyQuest. Just make sure they're burning some of these resources. So, getting the flashes out, getting all these out. They do have their sights on the mid lane. They are pinging out kills, so they're going to be calling for the disengage, which is good. But FlyQuest still a little bit with that gold advantage right now because of those 2 kills sitting on top of NXI and just and some CS leads, small ones throughout across the board.
Rift Herald started up by CLG here. It looks like it's not going to be contested from FlyQuest Academy. Tomo is on the bottom side of the map. Triple though. Gonna get chucked out here by RJS. The shockwave does come in, but Dreams is behind RJS. He goes in. Alistar ult is taken away, so RJS is gonna be quite tanky here. Kingslayer not quite up available yet. Has to flash away in order to stay alive. RGS almost finds the 1v1 at a triple, but pulls 3 people to him, and Keel is able to pick up Rift Herald completely unknown to the opponents.
That was pretty clutch, man. RJS taking the unstoppable force, but with RJS being down, he has to reset and heal up. This is where they want to go for the dive.
Ooh, flash engage straight onto Katsuri there. Not a moment to move there. Now Tomo still putting out the DPS. NXI has to flash away from the turret there, but are they able to go in? Tomo, he gets the Goomba stomp. He's able to find RJS for himself. Folks is trying to get a return kill using the turret aggro. Ooh, Keel's coming in though. Onslaught of Shadow misses. NXI, Dreams both so low here. He's still going to be able to finish off one of these kills. No, the shield and dissonance coming in from Triple.
Got the stun.
Saving Private Alistar out here. FlyQuest Dreams makes it out alive at the end of the day. 2 kills off of a well-executed dive.
What a well-played bot dive from FlyQuest, man. They were juggling that aggro so well. Dream, he was sitting pretty good on that turn, and then he dropped it like it was a freaking cake, onto your coworker, man. Tomo, of course, you know, getting a kill for himself. NXI getting a kill for himself. Pay attention to this juggle aggro that comes in. This is where the TP comes in, and this is where all 4 members go in. Dream starts everything off first. He's still sitting. He takes one more turret shot, and then boom, drops it. NXI picks it up back up again. And then Triple goes in. Some mistakes happen with dissonance and command attack, but regardless, it gave it a window of opportunity for Tomo to jump back in. So, good stuff on that juggle aggro from NXI and from Dreams. Because if that second aggro drop didn't go over NXI and it went over to Tomo, it would have been bad news.
He would have been able to reset his way out of there, but NXI taking up a turret makes it easier nonetheless. You never really want to see your carries getting the turret aggro on these kinds of dives. End of the day, though, it is 2 kills picked up for FlyQuest. They are the team that is pulling out with some very early aggression here off the back of that TP. So they find themselves with an early 1,000k gold lead. Dragon as well picked up for themselves a little turret plating on the bottom side, and now we're back to just farming up the jungle. We're back to a slower pace in the game with teleports down for both mid laners. Dragon is spawned onto the map, so maybe we will see both of these teams try to gather around once more.
Oh. What's that about Dreams?
Dreams? I don't think
Kyle. Yeah. He's coming in.
Yeah, that's a teleport being executed there. Shockwave comes out as well. Keel flash from Tomo is going to be able to pick up that kill there. Final proc of the bomb will finish him off, and Dragon should be secured by FlyQuest.
I wanted to actually mention that FlyQuest so far, Game 1 and Game 2, have been on top of the ball when it comes to setting up their plays. And it's something that CLG, I think, need to recognize, because that's where they can look to see if they can tackle down one of FlyQuest's, you know, tried and true, reset together, walk out at the same time, and set them up to this Dragon. These are very textbook plays that CLG can definitely answer back against, but then they're just kind of getting caught off guard. Maybe CLG is skipping steps, or maybe they're just disrespecting that FlyQuest has the first move on the map, but it's just worked out Game 1 and going to Game 2.
And that's something that we saw a lot in Game 1, like you mentioned. The Rift Herald going over very early. We didn't see the rotation this time around, so CLG was able to pick up that neutral objective, but the second Drake is going to be over for FlyQuest here. Udi was able to pick that one up. Kumo did use the ultimate in the top lane as well. I like to see it. He's able to pick up that entire wave. He now has a level lead on TN up here, and knowing that the Dragon is down, he doesn't have to worry about another fight starting anytime soon, so using that ultimate just as a quick way of teleporting into the top lane without teleport. He is running the ability to change out his runes or change out spellbook. I couldn't remember the name of it. Spellbook. So he has the exhaust here. NXI once again, he's playing Bushwookie this game. He's not gonna be sticking around too long, but he just keeps looking for TN.
I do like what CLG is doing. Unfortunately, they couldn't really set themselves up for Rift Herald, right? Where we look at FlyQuest game 1, the way they sent it mid lane, and they got the plates coming in. Maybe this Rift Herald can crash. It is at 2 plates, you know, so they can get this if it does crash. But we do see FlyQuest already calling up the backup members to see if they can defend this Rift Herald. They really want to take this down, but we're looking to see if we can have a party, man. They really want the big boy.
And Dreams is going in already, but Hooks is there as well. TN dropping down extremely low, but it's going to be Keel that has to use Onslaught of Shadows in order to get out of this one. There's just too much tankiness coming in from FlyQuest Academy. Now Triple and RJS are here. The mid laners have arrived. Is RJS going to be able to find a way in? He does go in onto Kumo, but that is still a front line. Flash with a double shockwave. RJS is trying to get so much damage in, but it's going to be a return shockwave coming in for Triple. TN finds one. It is a 1-for-1 at the end of the day, but now this Jace has to find his way out of this fight. A Hook accidentally finds his way onto Triple. He has to flash away in order to keep himself alive there. The Rift Herald will go down in the middle of all this. He is not going to be able to find the crash into the top lane turret, but it's a 1-for-1 at the end of the day.
And both these teams are playing so defensively against each other. FlyQuest comes up all the way to the top side just to make sure that Rift Herald doesn't crash. But then because they managed to win out at the end of the day, and also Tomo winning out on the bot end, he's able to get this bottom lane turret for himself. Like, this is all just swinging back and forth. But remember that, like, whenever CLG wants to make a play, FlyQuest is also right there. And the difference is that they just have, like, that one little thing that gets them that advantage. TN is still up here, and he should be looking to... Nope, he is going to back off, knowing that NXI and Kumo is around. No flash, though.
Ooh, wait, that's Kumo coming in from downtown with the ultimate. He's not going to be able to make it land onto TN, but he is going to be there in order to pick up the kill onto TN. Sion finds himself another kill. NXI is just bullying this Jace in the top lane.
Nah, it just sucks, man. When you don't have flash, that's what happens. You know, Kumo just comes running in with that ultimate. NXI comes in as well, because they're both fast boys. And with that being said, with bottom lane outer turret being taken down, Tomo's on a siege, man. He wants these turrets. He wants these rooks. And knowing that Rift Herald's also up, that's also another thing that they can go for with more members of FlyQuest on the top side.
Tristana, one of the best turret takers in the game here as well, does have the explosive charge that she can throw down on top of the turrets, does a huge chunk of damage, and he's been sitting at 2-0-1 now, has the completed Kraken Slayer, does so much damage. Another turret picked up by this demolisher of an AD carry. TN finally shows up at the top lane in order to respond to this wave, but I don't think he's going to be able to find a solo kill onto this Tristana here unless Keel comes in.
Ooh.
Great disengage from Tomo, understands the situation. Onslaught of Shadows coming out though. Dreams is here. He's going to be able to CC. Hooks comes in. Are they going to be able to find their way onto Tomo? That's going to be the depth charge coming in. TN, he gets one last auto attack, finds the shutdown. It is a lot used by CLG though, and FlyQuest is here to respond. The teleport coming in from Kumo. Is he going to be able to find something? Hooks pops Zanyas, flashes away from the knockup. Is he going to be able to get himself out? Another response teleport. RGS is here. He has the Alistar ultimate. He's trying to find his way onto Triple, but the shockwave isn't going to do much work. Keel is in the backline. Is he going to be able to find the kill onto Triple? No, TN. One last shock blast is going to find the knockback of the turret, but Jace is going to be just fine. And Kumo, he was trying to buy time. He tried to teleport into this fight, but he goes down, and CLG finally find a successful team fight.
Oh, TN! No!
Oh, no, TN. Minions?
Oh, he got 30 HP!
TN,
21! Please! Yes! He lives! Alright, let's take a step back on that engage from CLG where they tackled on Tomo. Tomo stepping a little bit too far on the top side, but the biggest thing that created everything wasn't off of just that kill, because FlyQuest was coming back to see if they can collapse. It was off Hooks and his great stopwatch, man. He baited everyone on the kill. He baited Kumo on the kill. He was like, Kumo's teleporting in. He's like, yo, we got this. This should be free. But then it bought so much time. Take a look at Hooks. If you look at this, we should assume that Hooks is like down. But he stopwatched and then he flashed, and that buys enough time for this teleport from RJS to come through. This is where everything collapsed, because FlyQuest wasn't tracking the TP from RJS, and this is where everything just kind of goes downhill. Finally, we see CLG answer back in a very good way compared to game 1. This is where now they actually have a lot of agency when it comes to their plays. And remember that CLG, they are a really good defensive team when they are reacting to what you want to do. TN, of course, dropping single digits, and then he gets a lifesteal. But still, we're back to a neck-and-neck game. Look at the top of the score.
Tomo was not
there.
there
Add a +1 to everything, and then you add a +1 to everything. That's basically FlyQuest, man. like 30.9, you add a 0.1. 6, you add a 1. 1 turret, you add a 1, and that's what FlyQuest has. It's crazy. 0 to 1.
It's such a close game, too, here between these two teams. Keel wants to try and find engage onto FlyQuest, but he's going to be caught out by Kumo here, so a disengage from the side of CLG. Tien throwing a shock blast over the wall. Hooks trying to find an engage, but he's only going to find Dreams. Kumo has to use his ultimate in order just to defend his teammates. They will find the mid lane outer turret for FlyQuest Academy here, and with that, they decide to back off.
The good stuff, though, FlyQuest is still focusing on these neutral objectives, focusing on making sure they're playing around Tomo and Triple. You have to give something up, though, as it looks like FlyQuest is going to be giving up this second Rift Herald. Not as valuable at the end of the day, just because you're mainly using it for a cross-map play, right? You want to make a pressure point on like bot side, and then you make a play on the top side, or vice versa. So nothing too crazy, but it is still something you could take away. So CLG, they do make the optimal punish.
For every little thing that you take, you have to give something as well. So CLG, pick up the Rift Herald. Dragon was also secured here by CLG. It is going to be an Infernal Soul this game, so FlyQuest have 2 drakes for themselves, CLG only 1, but this game is nowhere near over, as 19, almost 20 minutes into this game, we see a mere 500 gold lead for FlyQuest, and we take a look at all the itemizations and where these kills have been going so far this game. A lot of that gold difference is going to be in the jungle. NXI with a 300 gold bounty on himself, 3-0-4. He is a tanky Udyr, but it is not nearly enough. The biggest difference in itemization is that Tomo has completed that Phantom Dancer. Katsuri just sitting on half of Last Whisper when working towards that Lord Dominic's regards here. I do expect him to pick up that item fairly quickly here, as he's facing down 3 tanks, and once the item is completed, CLG will be looking to do way more work in these team fights, especially with Katsuri.
Team and Kuma are just going to bully each other out. This is something that I do like, what Katsuri has done. He did opt in for that Last Whisper, so to me it speaks like you're going to go Lord Dominic's regards. It's a little bit of a trade-off. You go Serrated Dirks, you do miss out on the Evolved Q, but then against this composition of FlyQuest, you want to try and chunk out the tanks. Whoa, RGS!
RGS is looking to get picked out here. He has to use the Kingslayer and the Flash in order to get out. NXI, though, he is so fast. Kumo coming in, the Shockwave lands, and it's going to be able to finish off RGS. The Silas is down. Nautilus is soon to follow. That's going to be FlyQuest. They find 2, and immediately they start rotating over towards Baron.
Whoa, Tomo!
Whoa, Tomo!
Whoa.
Where are you going? He finds Katsuri,
Tomo.
but that's the onslaught of shadows. You can't be doing this solo AD carry missions. He has the flash, he has the heal. He doesn't have to use either of those. Kumo comes to his rescue, and it's now Keel that goes down. Tomo, you can't be playing with my heart, man.
You can't be playing with all of our hearts. I was like, whoa, what you doing? You're going to 1 versus 2, but he does come out on top. Also, the big thing is that he takes out Keel, too, at the end of it. Katsuri was calling to see if he can back himself up, but I guess that's what Tomo's true target was all along. 20 seconds of Keel means that CLG, they can't be here on time to make the steal. Tien did have teleporting, he couldn't teleport in, so they have to walk themselves all the way to it, but that Baron HP is falling fast. It's already down to 2k. They can't make it. And if they step up, they could just die if Dreams wants to make a turn. He's not. Actually, Hooks wants to make a turn.
Ooh, I guess Dreams is going to be going down here.
Right.
He does pop the ultimate. Not a whole lot else going to be picked up for CLG, though. They do find one, so the Alistar going down is going to be the silver lining for them. They can at least say, hey, we got one kill, but it's only the support and not much else.
I think that was just kind of like miscommunication, though. It looked like FlyQuest won. I think Dreams won a fight. You know, there's a reason why he postured up that aggressively. He's like, yo, like, they're walking in. I won't just fight this, but I think the rest of the crew was like, no, we're good. We don't need to fight this. Let's get the reset, because Dragon is coming up 15 seconds in. Dream is going to be pretty late. You know, it's going to take him a while to get into this team, get into this control here, but pay attention to CLG and pay attention to where they're at. You can't face checking this river. You have to be very mindful of what's going to be going on. CLG do have to pay respect. Teleport's coming in. They want to go.
Look at that teleport. RGS is way in the backline, but he's going to be getting blown up immediately. The flank attempt coming in from CLG. Flash forward from Triple. He finds the double shockwave. Hooks is going to be going down. Tomo, he's just looking to reset all over the place. Katsuri's going to be the next to follow. Triple kill picked up for Kumo, and it is tragedy for CLG.
Not the teleport that anyone wanted to see from RJ. Yes, man. Again, these are good ideas. You're teleporting to get a flank, I understand. But then not everyone's on the same page, and you're also teleporting right where everyone wants to be at on FlyQuest. So RJS definitely cost this big swing of this gold, knowing that they're fighting over the Baron, knowing that they're going to be breaking this middle inhibitor. That's a lot of control over to FlyQuest, and unfortunate, man. RJS, he's one of the players that has been a standout on these victories, but in this game, he's not looking too hot. He's 0-4-4. He hasn't really made gigantic plays, and it really hasn't really had a pop performance. When he does, it's really good to see, but in this game, it's not looking too good. And knowing that FlyQuest, 3 Drakes in, they only need 1 more to get Soul, and they're looking really strong. Tomo got PD and Kraken Slayer. I don't know.
Tomo is also starting to work on that Lord Dominic's regard of his own, so soon, Keel and Hooks are not going to be able to play that front line that they're looking to do for the side of CLG. They can't afford to dive on the Tomo because he's still got that rocket jump. He can get out, and once he does, he's going to turn around with that extra armor penetration and just melt the frontline members of CLG. This is the loser bracket. Let's take a look at that last team fight, though.
NXI was literally standing there. He was like, yo, once you get here, you're going to take right in the face, and that's what happened. And that's what basically caused everything for CLG to fall down. This is a 4-on-3, by the way.
NXI just ignored the run part of the Udyr combo. He just went straight for the stun.
That's what I'm saying, man. And that's what I was saying when you look at CLG. Like, you got a strong dive composition, 100%. But then, if you dive in front of an Udyr who's just gonna bear slap everyone who walks by, it's gonna stagger everyone a little bit. And RJS, that's basically what happened. If it wasn't Udyr standing there, maybe if it was someone else, and he could take an ultimate and like get to safety, could be very different. But that's where Udyr works really well against dive comps, and when you have a solid backline that could just pump out that damage. He just gets to be a body that just pushes people back and forth like Ganyu and Tekken.
It's difficult for RJS to be able to do anything in these fights, though, when he is looking at the tankiness of FlyQuest Academy. NXI, we gotta remember, this man still 3-0-8. Sion also has completed his Ninja Tabbies, has completed his Frostfire Gauntlet, also picking up the Gargoyle Stone Plate, so he is going to be playing such a tanky role in the side of FlyQuest Academy composition. You see him here, he's just going 1-for-1 with Tien. He may not be doing much damage, but he's going to be looking for the rest of the team. He uses the ultimate, goes in. FlyQuest, though, they are able to pick up that top lane inhibitor turret. The cancellation, Tomo is going down extremely low, but he's able to find the stopwatch, buying so much time. Tien is able to find it, no, but he does find it.
Shockwave!
Oh, the Shockwave saving FlyQuest here. Tomo staying alive through all of it. The Tristana, you use everything. You throw everything in the kitchen sink from CLG in order to take out this Tristana, and it is played perfectly. He does not go down. He buffers the CC. He has the heal. He has the Zanyas. He's going to have your Nexus too. Katsuri gets jumped on, gets blown up. Too much damage as FlyQuest. They come out of this series 2-0 in a commanding fashion.
How much awareness do you gotta be if you're Tomo and you're paying attention to everything? The man did all the right things at the end of it. He buffered the rocket jump to make sure he doesn't get hit by the abscond abscend. He hit the freaking ultimate to make sure that Tien doesn't jump on top of him, and then he stopwatches at right at the perfect time. Like, Tomo was crazy, man. You would expect that he should be dead there, but he was still alive, and that stopwatch basically gave Triple the best bodyguard to make sure that he's A-okay, which is a 3-man shockwave when they're all just dogpop trying to kill the tiny girl who has a rocket. Good stuff on FlyQuest, because that fight, it could have ended everything if Tomo just wasn't making those small, minute, and small decisions. But when he did that, those are beautiful things, and that's where it's so crazy to watch this guy play.
We were looking back on the replay of this entire game, FlyQuest Academy. We wanted to see more aggression coming in from CLG, but it was FlyQuest that is able to find an NXI with an early game called the top side, and we see top lane priority, making sure that Tien is never able to really pop off here for CLG. This is one fight that goes a little back and forth here. RJS is able to go in, he gets the Shockwave onto 2, and it's looking good for CLG until it's not anymore. Triple gets the Shockwave in return. They go 1-for-1 at the end of the day, but they still have priority everywhere. And it just felt like FlyQuest was, again, more on page with each other. They knew who they were going for. They knew what they wanted to do this entire game. And we see here that teleport.
Yeah, this honestly costed CLG such a big swing in the mid lane. But I want to just highlight that CLG, they are a very defensive team. They answer defensive plays really well when you give them a time to just to evaluate things. The issue is that when they look for offensive plays, it doesn't look work. But pay attention to this, man. Tomo stops everything. He stopwatches, and then you get to see a 3-man shockwave. Katsuri also gets knocked back away too. Like, this is so good from Tomo, and just mad awareness. Like, You tell me a player can just understand what thing is coming back up and what he needs to do to make sure he lives. That's insane to me. That's actually a mad awareness to understand what he needs to do based on what's coming at him, man.
And
crazy.
When we're looking at these games in retrospect, when we're looking at them again, we ask ourselves, what are these teams looking for out of Proving Grounds? And a lot of these players are trying to just showcase their talents. They're trying to show, hey, we're LCS ready. And we've seen a lot of academy teams coming out today. And Tomo showing up huge in both games, honestly. Same with Triple. Both of these guys, they want to prove that they're LCS ready. FlyQuest Academy wants to prove that their players have what it takes to go pro here. And with Academy also playing off against amateur teams, the amateur teams later on this week are going to be looking to prove that they can also play at the same level as these professionals. But ladies and gentlemen, we got Dreams coming in from FlyQuest Academy for our interview here. Hello, Dreams. Thank you for joining us on the broadcast today.
Hello. Feels good, I guess.
All right, Dreams, I got to ask you real quick. Coming into the bot side for FlyQuest and playing with Tomo, he's been a big carry when it comes to how you guys want to play. Can you kind of just break down and tell me a little bit more about when you are playing with them, whether in and out of game? How is that synergy like when you're working with Tomo?
I think in general, like working with Tomo is like really fun. I think he's like pretty funny guy, and like we just have like good atmosphere between each other. We make jokes and shit. I mean, I think it just translates to the gameplay too. Like he knows what I want to do, and I know what he wants to do. Yeah.
You love to see that kind of synergy.
I think you can't do that, Dreams. You can't just like know what the other person's thinking. That's cheating.
Oh, of course. Like there should be like there should be some sort of like talk between each other about like how to play lane. But
yeah.
I'm saying like the timings,
Yeah.
You love to see synergy coming out from the bottom lane and the support, the AD carry and the support being on the same page together. Most beautiful combo that you can see. Name a better pair. But Dreams, I want to ask you, we were talking to some of your coaches earlier, getting ready for this cast, getting ready for your guys' games today, and they were saying that you're kind of the voice of reason for your team. You said, Tomo, he likes to joke around a lot, but for yourself, do you play like a vital role in terms of being a lot of the shot calling? How do you help your team keep their calm and cool, especially when you guys are behind? You didn't really fall behind in this series, but I want to know, just from your perspective, how do you help the team? What do you bring to the table in terms of communication?
I think in general, I just try to like say what we can do as a team. Just basically just help the shot calling. Like I don't think like we have like one man shot calling in the team. Like everyone just calls for it and just slowly like build up with the calls. So I'm just trying my best to just give the suggestions and like make calls if I'm like really sure about it. Just go for it.
All right, cool, man. It's always glad to hear and knowing that you're trying to be a clutch player for your squad and making sure that you guys are finding those victories here. But going into the rest of Proving Grounds, man, you guys got a lot of players coming in, and knowing that last week you guys did lose against Evil Geniuses Academy. I know you guys want that rematch. I actually wonder what are you guys going to be planning to do when dealing with some of these teams that do play hard early on and do want to just try and attack you guys down, knowing that you guys do play a little bit slower.
Yeah, I mean they're only like early game team, but it's honestly it's just like if we just play better, then we will win early. If they make mistake, we'll just win. If we don't make mistakes, they will win. I think it's pretty simple.
All right, easy clap, man. Easy clap. Just be better players. All right, it's cool. I understand. All right, I just gotta be a better player. So
Maybe it's not a
I see.
Okay, but
Final question for you.
Sorry.
Final question for you, Dreams. Are you guys looking forward to playing against 100 Thieves next week? Because they are going to be your next opponents coming up. Are you guys nervous? You guys got anything specially prepared for them? You don't have to give us any details, but I just want to know. You guys got anything behind the scenes that you're working on?
I don't think we have like really like specific one, but we just prepare like just put everything every week. That's just how it works. From my perspective, I don't know how others feels, but yeah.
All right, perfect. Well, Dreams, I think that's gonna be it, man. I think that's gonna be all the questions that we have for you. Dreams, I gotta thank you so much, man. Congratulations on the win. Congratulations on your bot lane performance with you and Tomo. You guys are killing it out there as a duo synergy, especially in the later stages. So good job on that end. I don't think I got anything else. Icarus, you got another question? Or
no? Thank you. Thank you to Dreams. Thank you for coming on, and congratulations on your 2-0 victory today. You guys looked great.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate to be here.
No problem, man. All right. Well, Icarus, got some cool games, man.
But that's
almost popping off. Contracts popping off. We got some players were looking real good today.
Yeah, I mean, if they're looking to rejoin the LCS or they're trying to make their way into the professional scene, these are some great games to be looking back on. We got a couple of highlight clips coming in for Tomo, a couple of highlight clips coming in for Contracts, as both of these teams, e.g. Evil Geniuses Academy and FlyQuest Academy, win their series 2-0. Props to the teams that lost today. We're going to go ahead and bring up the bracket for you guys really quickly here. CLG, unfortunately, are going to be dropping out after that series. Gone but not forgotten. They showed up fairly well today. They just weren't able to find the successful series that they were looking for, but we do have a couple of exciting games coming up for you guys the rest of this week. Dignitas Academy versus Evil Geniuses. Prodigy is going to be playing tomorrow on the winner side of the bracket.
Yeah, and then we take a look at all of that. Honestly, I'm just pretty happy to see FlyQuest advance forward. Now I'm just kind of curious to see who they're going to be facing up against, man. Actually, it looks like they're going to be on the opposite side. They're not actually facing each other, actually. So 100 Thieves is going to be playing the winner of Wildcard versus Immortals. That's going to be fun to watch when we see that come through. As Wildcard is a team that, one of the amateur teams that has kind of, made some names for themselves. Unfortunately, just one of them that just hasn't taken that victory, but they still have a chance. And regardless, all these teams still have a chance to make it through. It's losers, guys. You got to make that Cinderella run. And if they can do it, you get a lot of improvement, and you're making sure that you're being clutch. That's the biggest thing when you look at all the top teams and all the teams. Can you execute and be mindful of what you need to do at every situation? That's what Tomo did today. That's what Contracts did today. We just have to see if the other teams in the loser side can actually do it going for the rest of the tournament.
Tomorrow's loser side bracket is also going to be Dignitas Mirage, one of our amateur teams coming in here versus CSM Academy. So that's going to be our 16th seed versus our 9th seed. Should be super exciting. I'm personally super hyped for the 9th, though. For this Friday, we got No Org versus Barrage Esports as our winning bracket matchup. That's going to be the hypest series. Two of the top amateur orgs out there going head-to-head to determine which one's better. We've seen them so much in all the games. Tier 1 tournaments coming up to Proving Grounds here. I don't know if you got something to say about it, Chilling Walk, but I'm just super hyped for that series.
The thing is that when you're an amateur and you're hanging out with some of these players and you get to know them and all that stuff, they got some beef, man. Like, some of these players got beef. I don't know if you guys were here when 5-Fire was calling some shots. He was taking a lot of them. He was calling shots at everyone in the academy, everyone here, but that man is confident. I'm excited to see how 5-Fire does, but also with Fan and Pie Cake and everyone else on the Barrage side, that's also going to be really fun too. A lot of these guys have, play. A lot of the players on these two teams have played in academy, have gone back and forth when subbing or whatnot. But that's where it gets really cool, man. These are the biggest two storylines within amateur, and we get to see all of it, and that's a beautiful thing. I've known 5-Fire for many years. I know Fanatic, and Pie Cake for many years. And it's great to see them just trying to see if they can claw back in and see if they can just show themselves up and put a performance for everyone. And that's something I can't wait to see tomorrow, to see who comes out on top, man.
It should be an exciting series. Amateur versus amateur, academy versus academy we had today. But at the end of the day, that's all we have for you guys. We're out of series. We're out of games. We had 2 quick 2-0s. So that's going to be it for us here over on Proving Grounds. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate everything you guys have, all the time you guys have spent with us here today, listening to all these games, listening to us talk about our opinions on League of Legends and what these players are doing. But that's it for me. Do you have any last words for the folks at home, Chilling Walk?
Just appreciate that you guys are enjoying your time here, watching all of us and enjoying the action, man. That's all I can say. Shout outs to Riot, shout outs to Proving Grounds for allowing us to be on air. It's a great time here whenever we're catching all of this awesome, amazing action. So that's all I got to say.
With that, good night.
Verizon believes everyone deserves the best. That's why we start with 5G from America's most reliable network.
Verizon 5G is next level.
Then give families plans to mix and match, so you only pay for what you need starting at $35.
You get so much more than this, a great network.
And offer the best in entertainment on select unlimited plans, like Disney+, Hulu, and ESPN+, as well as Discovery+, with a Galaxy S21 Plus 5G when you buy one. There's no reason to settle for less than the best, only from Verizon.